Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back in with another sequence video in Ecclesiastes 12. But I'll start it off with another verse that I found that was really cool right before it, and is in line with Revelation 4:11, which I quote a lot. Ecclesiastes 11:5, as you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. Okay, so God makes everything. This is 11:5, 55. That's an important number. So my understanding is that 55 is another number for God's elect. 66 or 666 is a number for the beast. And then 77 or 777 is meant for a group who have the spirit, like spiritual power and that kind of thing. And so, it's not a coincidence to me that this is an 11:5. Okay, so Ecclesiastes 12 is amazing. And it's coded, but it's also amazing because it links up with Revelation 18, which I'll talk about. So, title is Remember Your Creator in Your Youth. Ecclesiastes 12. Remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of evil come, and the years draw near of which you will say, I have no pleasure in them. So, this is talking about a group that will wake up prior to the time that these evil days come. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars are darkened and the clouds return. The clouds return. This is Christ returning on his UFOs. These so-called UFOs are called clouds in the Bible. So this is a reference now to his second coming to take away his elect. And that's in verse 12:14. Return after the rain. Okay, so that's in the rain represents tribulation. So he's going to return after the tribulation period, which I believe is done or is wrapping up now. In the day when the keepers of the house tremble and the strong men are bent and the grinders cease because they are few and those who look through the windows are dimmed. So then now we have a time of great tribulation. And the doors on the street are shut when the sound of the grinding is low and one rises up at the sound of a bird and all the daughters of song are brought low. Okay, and that's in verse 12:16. Okay, this is during the time of the great tribulation period, Revelation 16. And so that verse also aligns with Revelation 18:22, and the sound of the harpists and musicians of flute players and trumpeters will be heard in you no more. This is after America is destroyed. And a craftsman of any craft will be found in you no more, and the sound of the mill will be heard in you no more. So this is all during and then after the Great Tribulation period. And so the Bible links up. It's absolutely amazing. They are afraid also of what is high. This is now coded language for when Christ returns. And terrors are in the way. The almond tree blossoms, the grasshoppers drags itself along, and desire fails because man is going to his eternal home, and the mourners go about the streets. Okay, they're just destroyed, body and soul. Before the silver cord is snapped, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, and the dust returns to the earth as it was. This is God's left-hand side being destroyed, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. This is coded language when the spirit, God's elect, this is in verse 7, returns with God to do the final destruction, of God's left-hand side. So it's absolutely amazing that the sequence is built in here as well. Ecclesiastes 12. I'll read verse 7 again. And the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. So all spirits are going to ultimately return back to God. There's God's right-hand side. Those spirits will remain, quote unquote, outside of him, and then in the kingdom. But his left-hand side is going to return back. He collapses it. It's destroyed. It's no longer needed anymore. To prune and condition his right-hand side. Verse 8, vanity of vanity, says the preacher, all is vanity. Okay, so verse 9, besides being wise, the preacher also taught the people knowledge, weighing and studying and arranging many proverbs with great care. This also points to us the fact that the Bible is not written randomly. Okay, like all the verses are put in a very, very specific place. Like it says here, weighing and studying and arranging many proverbs with great care. Okay. The preacher sought to find words of delight, and uprightly he wrote words of truth, which is in the Bible. Verse 11, the words of the wise are like goads, and like nails firmly fixed are the collected sayings. They are given by one shepherd. All of this comes from God. Okay, there's only two options. Either what I teach comes from God or it doesn't. Okay, so you people have to decide. My son, beware of anything beyond these. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. The end of the matter, okay, this is now, again, coded language for the, the final return with Christ. The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is God and his elect. For God will bring every deed into judgment with every secret thing, whether good or evil. And so that's in verse 14. This is with his elect. with the final destruction, with everybody with the mark of the beast. And this is the final judgment, you know, prior to the kingdom being established. So even in this short chapter, Ecclesiastes 12, we see the sequence, and then it links up perfectly with Revelation 18:22. And I just want to bring out Ecclesiastes 11:5 because it reaffirms the now obvious truth to me that God is in control of absolutely everything. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.